Morreion and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, this video is going to be a bit of a guide for transformations slash merges because oftentimes people get themselves in really bad XP ruts because they just are like, I have a lot of useless towers, let's merge. And that's very sad and tough to get out of it. So hopefully this will kind of help people make better choices. I'm sorry if this video will feel rushed, but that's because it kind of is, because I want to try to get this out before Fort starts or by the time it starts, just in a timely fashion. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So from turrets to legacy towers, you have no level losses, no XP losses. By the way, by legacy towers, I mean wood towers, towers that only require wood to level, just the very first towers in the game. But it's worth noting that archers and cannons for some reason have slightly different numbers, so you will see that sometimes I tend to specialize them a little bit in their own category. So you know what? The first two transformations, the turrets to legacy towers or archers and cannons, they both have no level losses and the XP loss is non-existent for towers that aren't archers or cannons, but archers and cannons have very negligible loss that obviously gets regained, so it's whatever. These are really good quality transformations. And I would recommend, if you have, for example, a fire turret, to transform it to a storm or a lightning or a mage. This is a great transformation, at least to me, because I find fire turrets super useless. Ice turrets are nice, but you know, I transform it too. It depends on your base layout. Now, the second one, which is turrets to archers and cannons, I write it's circumstantial because obviously you wouldn't really opt for archers or cannons, but if you really want one, you think it'll add value to your base, go ahead and do it. If not, you know, maybe don't transform to those. Lastly, we have turrets to howitzers. The level loss is variable according to what level turret you're transforming, etc. I would recommend referring to Morreion's website. He has an entire section dedicated to transformations. It shows you all the losses. It's a really good resource. I'll leave the link down below. The XP loss, whatever it is you lose, you will regain when you re-level to max the new transformed tower. Overall, in my opinion, the quality of the transformation isn't bad. I wouldn't call it good per se, but you know, it's not bad. This is categorized as circumstantial because it is fully dependent on your resources. If you have a lot of shards, this could be nice, and only do it if you're beyond the cap of max level dragons. I would not recommend this if you haven't gotten to the point of max level dragons, because an XP rut is not something you want to get yourself into when you're trying to grow. Next up, we have the Flax. Now, Flax to legacy towers and archers and cannons, very similar. Archers and cannons have no losses whatsoever. Flax to legacy towers, only one level loss, and you regain the XP when you re-level it. Both of those merges are good quality number-wise, but I would not recommend it, because in what world would you transform a Flax with the very sought after embers that you use for its resources to a wood-based tower? Just don't do it. Just use wood and level it up normally. And then we have Flax to howitzer. The level loss is variable, once again depending on the level that you're transforming, and you regain the lost XP. The quality, once again, isn't bad, and it's circumstantial because I wouldn't do it, you know? But if for some reason you have an abundance of embers and you really want a howitzer and you don't have electrum bars, I mean, you know, this is a viable option. Next up, this one is probably my favorite. Howitzer to legacy towers and archers / cannons. Same explanation as that of Flax. Now, howitzer to turrets. You lose 1 level, and the XP loss is regained when re-leveled. Good quality transformation. Do I recommend it? Once again, depends on you. If you really want a turret, you don't have the shards, but you have electrum bars, sure, go ahead, but I feel like, I don't know. I really don't value ice and fire shards. To me, they're just tools to merge. I'll get into that later. But I value electrum bars a lot more, especially for this next transformation, which is howitzers to Flax. Depending on when you transform, you either lose no levels or up to 2. You lose no levels up to level 86, and then it's variable whether you lose 1 or 2 levels. You regain the XP when you re-level. This is a really good quality transformation. I recommend this. I'm personally gonna do it. I've gotten all the electrum bar branches so far, and it's expensive starting a flag from scratch. So this saves you a ton of embers. So this is something I really love. I'm personally gonna do it. I would recommend it. I believe jackal pylons are gonna be transformable next season, winter season, so this is something to look forward to if anyone wants to do that. Next. I feel like a lot of people do this one. And it always makes me, don't want to say cringe, but it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Legacy to legacy towers. This one, you barely lose any levels, 1 to 3 depending on the level. You regain the XP when you re-level. Good quality. I recommend this if, like me, have a trebuchet and an archer, which has become a meme now. You can transform them to lightnings. My trebuchet is saying bye-bye this fort and going to be a lightning. So I recommend this if you're in a similar case. As for a legacy to turrets, Flax, and howitzers, it is actually ordered from the least painful to the most painful. The level and XP loss is massive, but if you go this route and you re-level to max towers, you will actually net gain when you're done, so you're gonna have more XP than the deficit you started off with, so you're gonna gain overall levels. But this is such a bad quality transformation. However, I can't say I don't recommend it, because if you're really high level and you don't have the required resources, this is a viable option. Would I do it? Most likely not, but it is a viable option. It's just gonna be a really stupid XP rut that will take quite a while to get out of. As for the last chart, I did not want to forget about totems. I wanted to give them some love. So if you transform any tower to a totem, the level loss is gonna be, quite big. And since leveling totems actually gives you no XP, you will not regain your losses. So this is bad quality. But once again, if you really, really want a totem on your base and you don't want to spend the embers for it, and you're okay with the XP loss that will not be regained, more power to you. Go for it. I probably wouldn't do it, but you know what? It's your base. It's up to you. I'm just giving you the facts. As for totem to totem, you get 1 to 2 levels lost. No XP losses. Good quality. I would recommend this because we constantly get new mythics with new elements that we want to mitigate. So it's an easy way to kind of switch between elements, but you know, you'll have to re-level them. So you are paying a little bit of embers along the way unless you merge. But it's worth noting, you should probably only level your totem to 46%. No need to go farther. You get the max at 46, level 46, not 46%, if I remember correctly. Beyond that, it's kind of cosmetic or just not worth it. Now that transformations are out of the way, I couldn't really make a chart for merges because it's very variable according to your needs. But I will give a couple tips when it comes to merging. So first of all, I would very much recommend using NidoGod's merge tool, or once again on Neon Wonderland Morreion's website, there is also a merge tool. Make use of it. I will also leave a link to NidoGod's merge tool down below. Now, there are 2 ways I like to merge. I got my ice flak quite high by bulk merging turrets. So I kept toying around with numbers until I got little XP deficits, and it would pile on a ton of levels for me on my ice flak. This is a nice way if you're trying to get a flak from 0 to max and you have a huge abundance of shards. My other favorite merge is Ember bypasses. Basically, I find merges that are good for a specific level of flak, just to bypass the ember levels, and then I level the wood levels, and then I bypass another ember level, and then I level once again with wood. That way, I obviously save a ton of embers, and if you do this right, it can be very efficient timer-wise, and you don't really miss out on much. But I will let everyone figure it out on their own. I will give you a hint though as to the mechanics. So in a nutshell, for merges, keep trying a lot of numbers until you find the right sweet spot. Make sure you have low level turrets there to soften your XP deficit, and don't have very high level turrets because that will just give you a massive deficit that I doubt will really be softened at all. I think this more or less concludes this merge/transformation guide. I'm sorry I was rushing through it. I hope that despite my rushing, it was a good enough explanation for this and that it helps people out. And please, if you're sharing the charts, which I will put on my forum post if people want an actual copy, and you can also message me so I can send you the copies. Please share it with a video because the video gives context to the chart and why I actually made it that way. And as always, if you like what you see, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, spread this video all around, and yeah, let me know what you thought down below. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well, stay safe, fly high, and I'll see you guys in the next video.